Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's Rod, your happy hippie, and I'm doing a video response to Channel 33, his 50 album challenge. Channel 33 RPM, Frank has a challenge to pull out 50 albums you have not listened to in a long time, or at least a little while, and put them back in rotation. Because we're all guilty of playing the same 10-15 albums. Anyway, I did it. I didn't quite get to 50. I got about 35, and some of them I decided I'm probably going to purge, get rid of. But I'm going to start with the first stack, and these first so many are ones I've already started playing again. Crosby, Stills and Nash, The Aliens. Started playing it again Sunday when Frank came out with the original video. Good album by Crosby, Stills and Nash. I don't know how I got pushed to the side, it just did. Also another one I decided to start playing again. Joe Jackson, Night and Day. Gatefold album by Joe Jackson. In fact, it's what we're listening to right now. So, that's in the stack. Alice Cooper, Goes to Hell. And another, just a wonderful album by Alice Cooper. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Mott the Hoople. Mott the Hoople. Their greatest hits, and really enjoyed this album. And believe it or not, this is one that I have not played in about a year. Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin 4, Zoso, whatever you want to call it. It's been on my back burner for a long time. Roger Miller's greatest hits. I really enjoyed listening to this one for the first time in probably like 2 years. I really like Roger Miller. This is Bark by Jefferson Jefferson Airplane. Jefferson Airplane. I bought this, I think at Goodwill. I paid like $1 for it. I don't know where this price tag came from. But anyway, I played it once, put it back in my collection, and I never played it again to the other day. Street Survivors by Skynyrd. It had been a long time since I broke this Billy out. Rolling Stones, my favorite band, but yet I have not played this one in probably 8 months since I got it. It's a compilation by the Rolling Stones. Features songs from the Brian Jones era, also the Mick Taylor era. So I really enjoyed this album. Another album I played once, actually I never played. First time I played it, I've had it for about a year. Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, huge fan of Willie Nelson. The song Poncho and Lefty, written by Townes Van Zandt. I got it for $1, brought it home and never played it. Foreigner, their first album. Great album by Foreigner, yet I've neglected to play it recently. Bobby and the Midnights. I played it 2 or 3 times when I first got it. Of course, it's Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead, a side project he did. Really enjoyed this album. Haven't picked it up. Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers. Had this album on cassette when I was a young man, back in high school. I was really happy to get it again, and just haven't played it in about a year. The Firm, kind of the same thing. Had it years ago, I got it on vinyl, and just kind of fell to the back of the rack. There's so many new albums I was getting. Just tons. And a lot of my stuff got like this, Eagles Greatest Hits. There you go, Eagles Greatest Hits. This is one phenomenal. Diana Ross and the Supremes, a 3-record set, anthology kind of thing. Yeah, it is called anthology. Just a wonderful set by them. 3 albums packed full of great, great music. And I played it once or twice, and I just kind of put it to the back of the rack. Lemonade, and my favorite Skull Cup. It's not homemade lemonade, but it's going to work. Molly Hatchet. Not a huge Molly Hatchet fan. Another Led Zeppelin, In Through the Outdoor. Same thing, when I grab Led Zeppelin, it's usually not Zoso or In Through the Outdoor, and they just kind of get pushed back. Ray Price. Really like Ray Price. I like this old school country music, like him and Roger Miller. Wonderful album, Ray Price. Saw Ray Price in Luckenbach, Texas at Willie Nelson's 4th of July picnic. I want to say it was 96, 97. The Bee Gees. This is the only album I have by the Bee Gees. I've played it a couple times and put it up. It's one I don't want to get rid of because I do like going back to it every once in a while. Another country album, Mr. Johnny Cash. I'm a big fan of Johnny Cash. Not so much this album, but there's sentimental reasons why I'm holding on to this album. This is the Columbia Star Series presents The Heart of Johnny Cash. Gatefold album, 2-record set. And I'll read off some of the songs. I Walk the Line, I Got Stripes, Green Green Grass of Home, Don't Take Your Guns to Town, Mean as Hell. It's actually a good compilation by Johnny Cash. I like his American recording sessions a lot better. But like I said, this has got some sentimental value to me. A friend of mine by the name of Sharon, who passed away on January 26th of this year. Sharon had given this to me. And so it kind of means a lot to me that she gave me this out of her collection because she knew I loved Johnny Cash. So I'm not getting rid of this one at all. I'm just not. Great woman, Sharon. Here's to you, Sharon. Billy Joel. Glass Houses. I remember when this was out, I was probably 7th, 8th grade. Still rock and roll to me. Got a real good copy of this. Played it once. Put it up, and I haven't touched it since. Carole King. Wonderful album by Carole King. I like her music. I'm not a huge fan of her music. But it's one I'm going to enjoy. I put these all back in rotation. Like I said, some of them I already started listening to again. Clarence Clemons. If you're not familiar with Clarence Clemons, I'm sure you are. Don't want to insult anyone's intelligence by asking. But if you're not, he was Bruce Springsteen's saxophone player. He passed away a few years back, a handful of years ago. Clarence Clemons. Good rock and roll album. And this album, I think everybody knows somebody that owns this album or they own it themselves. Michael Jackson's Thriller. It's the second biggest selling album of all time, next to this one right here, next to the Eagles. And I've had a couple copies of this album. I've always bought it to flip it. And I got this one a few months ago, maybe a year ago. It's hard to remember. And I don't think I've ever played it. I played a couple songs off it maybe. But that's going to go back in rotation for a while. And these are a small stack of albums. That's part of that thread, part of that, I don't want to use the word contest because it's not, threat, I guess. But these are ones I've decided not to keep. Jethro Tull, War Child. Not a huge fan of Jethro Tull. This is got Bungle on the Jungle on it, and I got it real cheap. I thought I'd keep it, but I'm either going to give this away, take it to Goodwill, or put it in my booth. Another one, Rabbit. I don't know if you're familiar with these guys, but they were a pop rock band in the 70s. Look how 70s that picture is. One I got, haven't played. Don Nix. I've played it once since I got it, and he's gone. Grand Funk. Yes, believe it or not, I am not that big of a Grand Funk fan to keep this album. It is a greatest hits album. It's got rock and roll soul, Walk Like a Man, Some Kind of Wonderful, We're an American Band. I may listen to it once before I do something with it, and maybe that will make me change my mind. But I'm pretty sure this is in my pile to purge. Sammy Hagar. Haven't listened to it in a year. It's gone. This is my least favorite Alan Parsons Project album. This is set to the my mind just went blank. Edgar Allan Poe. A play by Edgar Allan Poe, or poetry by Edgar Allan Poe. Anyway, and that it was set to music. Quarter Flash, the 80s. Don't listen to it. Don't really have a desire to. This is one I guess I should keep. Rick Wakeman, Journey to the Center of the Earth, but I never ever play it. So, The Ventures, Rock and Roll Forever. I haven't listened to it in forever. Jackson Browne, Hold On, and I just don't think I'm going to hold on to this album. And no disrespect to Jackson Browne. This album's a dime a dozen. You see it all over the place at Goodwills, at thrift stores. And I just don't like it. I'd rather pass it on to someone who would like it. And last but not least, Black Ark Oakensaw. And this is one. This is Raunch and Roll. I haven't listened to this in forever. Look at that, man. This is one I have not listened to in forever. And I think I'm gonna let that go too. Anyway, that's my less than 50 for me. I think it was 34, 35 albums that I'm either putting back in rotation, I'm going to give a second chance, then get rid of type deal. But anyway, thank you to Channel 33 RPM Frank. If you're not familiar with his channel, something tells me you are, though. This is a postcard I got from Frank 4 or 5 months ago. He's got a great channel, 33 RPM. Hands down, one of the best out there in the VC. He's one of the first guys. Him and Oddbox Topper are the two I started watching. And I didn't even know there were other people making videos at that time. I was just watching those two. But I'm really glad I found the VC. It's a cool place. So, thanks everyone for watching. And until next time, y'all be safe. Peace. God bless you.